Welcome to this episode of the Gunman. This video here is the final video I'm going to be doing on the hail and sun damage repairs that I've carried out on this little Toyota Echo that I bought myself, the little hatchback. And the final video we're just going to be painting these hubcaps here and also giving the headlights a little bit of a polish up. Main reason I'm doing this video is a guy actually asked. He must have had some hubcaps that he wanted painted, and he made a comment in one of my videos. He said, "Hey mate, Gunman, can you please make a video on how to paint hubcaps?" So it's a pretty basic video this. All I actually ended up doing, they were pretty clean. I didn't even end up doing much prep work on them other than a quick wipe down with Prepsol, which is wax and grease remover. I then wiped them off with a rag, got some 320 grit, which is what you see me using here. I'm not getting overly fussed with it. It's entirely up to you on how far you want to go with the prep work. I mean, you got to be realistic about something like this. A set of hubcaps probably only going to cost you $40 or $50 from the local auto shop, so there's no way I'm going to be making them look like a show car or anything like that. Quick sand down, get a bit of adhesion, give it a bit of a scuff down with some Scotch-Brite pad, put it in the booth. I even decided to put just a little bit of wet on wet primer over it, which is just some normal 2K primer mixed up to a 4:1 ratio, put 30% thinners in it, and that's done a couple of things. It's aided adhesion and it's also filled up some of those 320 scratches. If I decided I wanted to not use the primer stage, which may not be necessary if you didn't cut through in so many spots, you could either replace it with some 1K plastic primer or you could just paint straight over it. As I say, if you get a few years out of it, well, paint it again, they're going to get brake dust on them, they're going to get dirty. So I'm using grey coloured Scotch-Brite for these wheels. Pretty safe to paint over, grey coloured Scotch-Brite. You've got, in the Scotch-Brite ranges, you've got different grits determined by the colours. So the grey is fine, you've got extra fine, which is white colour, you've got red, and then you've also got green, which is coarser. So red is coarse, green is extra coarse. And I've found for prime-ups and stuff like that, red's fine. You could use green if you really wanted to, but if you're going to do paintwork stage, then grey is sort of the colour that you really want to be using. So as I mentioned before, this is just some Duke's Own 2K primer I'm using. You can replace that with some 1K primer. Just give it a few minutes to flash off. All I did with the silver on these hubcaps, as I mentioned, they're not worth much. You could go and buy a new set for bugger all. So I just looked inside my cupboard, I found some silver, I said that's all that it's getting. It was a 1 litre can, sort of half full. I said that's it, put a bit of thinners with it, gave it a stir up and used that, and it turned out they looked quite nice. And I just gave them just one nice wet coat of 2K clear, Duke's Own 2K clear, so I wouldn't have used much clear at all, maybe 100, maximum 150 mils. Just mixed it up, bit of hardener in it, no reducer. It's going to give you a bit more body to the clear, make it a bit thicker, so that's why I could sort of get away with the one coat. This spray booth of mine, it doesn't have any heat in it, so all I did these first thing in the morning, grab the hubcaps and just put them out in the sun for a few hours, and by the time the afternoon came around, they were nice and dry, they'd hardened up. So alternatively, you could use some heat lights, or if you have a spray booth, you could bake them, but it's barely even worth hitting the bake button for something like this. I'd usually just let it dry overnight. It's not worth heating the entire booth up. The amount of gas that you'll use on something like this, unless you're doing it with something else, it's just barely even worth it. So that's our base coat on. As you see, just put one coat on, let it flash off. I really didn't leave it flash off for that long. As I mentioned, it's pretty warm over here in Perth. Put another dust coat on, followed by another dust coat, and that's just about seeing it done. Gone over, mix my clear up, flush the gun through from the base coat, come over, and I'm putting my coat of clear on. It's just getting one coat of clear, not getting any flash jobs. So always make sure you wear your respirators. make sure you guys hit me up with a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer them. I can't get to everyone's comments. This channel's grown quite big in quite a short amount of time, so it's already getting to the point where it's difficult to keep up with everyone's questions. So yeah, I do promote the other guys, and try to tell you guys that are more experienced, and read some of the comments and answer them for me if you can. It'd be well appreciated. Yeah, also make sure you hit that sub button. Check me out on Facebook. I've got a link in the description of each one of my videos. So now that's done, I'll give you guys a quick look at how they look. Come up pretty nice. It's a bit of a sort of it's got that effect white in it, this colour. It's sort of something a bit different, but it's just a pretty nice frosty silver. Nice fine silver flake in it. They're not perfect. I mean, there's a few scuffs and scratches in it, but when they're back on the car, they're absolutely fine. So there's the headlights. I said we'll do as well. Like, they've faded off a bit in this hot West Aussie sun. Seems to make the plastic lenses fade off quite quickly these days. The glass lenses from the older cars were never so bad. They never used to fade like these plastic ones do. But there's another way of going about this. If it's gone too far to polish, so I'm just using that mini polisher. If it's gone too far, just pull the headlights out, either that or mask them up. Sand it back with a bit of, say, 500 to 1000 grit, anywhere in between there will be pretty fine. And just put a couple of coats of clear over them, and that'll bring them up really nice. I've actually got another video on how to clear coat your headlights. If you'd like to check that out, go back to my channel. And yeah, so I'm just using the G3 cutting compound, which is a Ferrecla brand. It's a favourite of mine, that compound. It's good stuff. I've been using it for years with good results. It cuts up quite nicely. I didn't even worry about using a final glaze over it. It got a bit of a gloss to it, and something I was happy with, and I just left it. So yeah, this finishes this Toyota Echo off. Those of you who've been following me will have seen the rest of the car, all the hail damage repairs, and started off with loads of dents all throughout. I just used a can and a half of body filler, primed it up, and painted it. Due to you guys actually asking to see the footage for this job. So there we are. We'll do the next headlight here. Have a quick look at the car when it's all finished off, and yeah, that's going to wrap this job up. I'll make a quick mention to a lot of guys. Like, I get a lot of questions to review specific guns, and I've already got loads of guns. Like, those guys that see me on Facebook and they see the pictures that I post, they say, wow, you do have a lot of guns. And if you've seen my workshop tour, you've probably seen all of the guns that I have in that video too. I've been able to, through YouTube, enable a feature called fan funding. If you guys want to throw $5, $10, $1, anything into the kitty, anything that goes into that kitty will go back into this channel. So go into buying spray guns, and if I get enough, I'll even start doing competitions. I'll just make some competitions. Once I've got enough guns that I don't use anymore, I'll just give them away to. We'll figure out some way of making a competition, and guns that, yeah. So $5, $10, anything, it all goes towards the channel. Any money that I do get from fan funding, I'm not going to be profiting personally from it, but I'll just be putting it all towards the channel. So there's the car when it's all finished off. If you are a beginner in the trade, I highly recommend checking out this video at the end on the right. It's spray painting for beginners. I sat down for a good half an hour in my spray booth, brainstormed an idea, and show you guys how to, 2 separate panels, how to repair scratches and dents, and how to paint them, how to paint with a spray rattle can, and how to do it with a spray gun as well. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and this has been another Gunman production. Goodbye.